Good evening, good evening, good evening, and good evening again. My name is Pebbles. I am a missing person homicide investigative journalist. I am also the founder of Missing, Lost, and Trafficked. Feel free to visit Missing, Lost, and Trafficked YouTube channel on YouTube when you get an opportunity to do so. Feel free to visit Missing, Lost, and Trafficked Instagram page when you get an opportunity to do so. And if you'd like to, stay in tune with news, updates, and information regarding missing persons, possible trafficked individuals, lost, unidentified persons, or unsolved homicides, feel free to visit the Missing, Lost, and Trafficked Facebook group. And you can find that group by simply typing in Missing, Lost, and Trafficked. So I want to introduce myself before discussing some of my findings, some of what I uncovered, and I want to do that so you know who I am. All right, so hopefully my live stream isn't ended because I'm very new to the group. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I'm including a link to a live stream I just hosted today discussing the disappearance of Naomi Irion. I did conduct a background check was conducted on Mr. Driver, okay? And that's Troy E. or Edward Driver, 41-year-old Troy Driver of Fallon, Nevada. He has been taken into custody, was taken into custody on Friday at a home off Alcorn Road. The Lyon County Sheriff Office stated just before 5 p.m. on March 25th, 13 days after Naomi's disappearance from a Walmart parking lot. Okay, just to give you some information about Mr. Driver and the arrest, his recent arrest. I wholeheartedly believe, and this is from previous experience in my reporting and investigating on missing persons. I wholeheartedly believe that law enforcement and the public, right, at large, may be able to figure out where Naomi actually is, all right? Well, at least an area, a city of some sort, right? By paying very close attention to Mr. Driver's relatives' locations and his associate locations. So, what am I talking about? Mr. Driver has relatives located in specific places in Nevada. After conducting an in-depth background search, I learned Mr. Driver has about 9 or more associates, all right, in various places, cities, specifically in Nevada, and other places outside of Nevada. What I want to do is discuss those places. I'm not wanting to focus on his criminal background, okay? Most of us may have already taken a look at his criminal background. That's not going to really help in figuring out, unfortunately, where Naomi is at this point. What may help, what's going to be very helpful, is understanding who Mr. Driver has connections to and where those people are located. That is key here in a situation like this. So, I noted that Mr. Driver has a 67-year-old relative in Silver Springs, Nevada, while conducting this background check. I'm just reminding some of you, I am a missing person investigative journalist. My name is Pebbles, founder of Missing, Lost, and Trafficked. Just start typing in Missing, Lost, and Trafficked on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, right? I also noted that Mr. Driver has a 79-year-old relative located in Silver Springs, Nevada. So he has two relatives located not in a city that he's from, but in another city, Silver Springs, Nevada. I also made note of a third relative located in Georgia. This relative is 76 years of age. I did pay close attention to the ages of these individuals. Paying close attention to the ages of said individuals, right, is extremely important. Okay? Extremely important. In a situation like this, I think it's significant. Those people are more than likely not individuals who are moving around from house to house. Those individuals may be homeowners, right? So there's a 76-year-old relative located in Georgia. Also, I want to move on and discuss the associates. Mr. Driver has associates. Those associates, they live places, right? I've conducted this background check, and so I'm just going to list what came up. There is a 67-year-old relative in Elko, Nevada, or an associate. This person could be a relative or an associate. There is a 46-year-old associate located in Kingston, Idaho. A 38-year-old associate located in Silver Springs, Nevada. A 49-year-old associate located in Spring Creek, Nevada. There is a 80-year-old associate located in Fallon, Nevada. A 79-year-old associate located in Fallon, Nevada. A 93-year-old associate located in Fallon, Nevada. An 86-year-old associate located in Fallon, Nevada. A 72-year-old associate located in Fallon, Nevada. And an 83-year-old associate located in Fallon, Nevada. If you like to do your own background, right, you'll have to pay about maybe $30 a month like I do. And you want to confirm what I'm saying right now, right, is lining up with what you will find once you subscribe, paying about $30 a month to be verified. I'm just going to give you the site. Okay? So, being verified is where I got this information. It's been pretty helpful. It's helped me actually locate kidnappers. So, it's helpful, okay? When I say it's 80% or more accurate, it is very accurate. I've worked with a private investigator on a number of cases, and I've been able to match what I found and been verified with what the private investigator who works with me found using her software. Okay, so that's how accurate it is. It lines up right with what the private investigator who works closely with me gets when she runs backgrounds on individuals attached to their social security number. Okay? So that is the reason why I am citing where I've gathered that information from. I believe this is a very credible site. In my experience, it has been very credible. Well, why am I talking about these places and these connections and where these people live, right? And please know that I have no intentions on giving their full names. That's tacky, right? Posting addresses online to YouTube, to Instagram, to my Facebook group. I am the admin of Missing, Lost, and Trafficked. The admin of that group. We have about 5,000 members. So I have no intention on doing that. I don't want anyone to be put in harm's way. And so, but there is an 18-year-old who is missing. No one knows where that 18-year-old is. Her name is Naomi Irion. Her parents, they are completely devastated. And I wholeheartedly, ladies and gentlemen, I believe this in my experience, figuring out the connections Mr. Driver has to certain cities and states could be extremely beneficial, ladies and gentlemen. Extremely beneficial in aiding law enforcement and the public with figuring out or determining, identifying an actual place that Naomi could be. That's what I'm interested in assisting law enforcement and the public and Naomi's family with doing. Figuring out, well, where could she have been taken? And I just believe those connections, the connections that Mr. Driver has with his relatives throughout the state of Nevada. I've listed several cities. Other individuals outside of the state of Nevada would definitely help a lot. Now, I'm going to tell you how identifying, right, Mr. Driver's connection with said cities and states could be beneficial, okay? I remember reporting on a suspect. This suspect had murdered a young woman. Police found out or determined he was the said murderer, issued a warrant for his arrest, and that murderer went on the run, okay? That murderer went on the run. He has now been arrested. I'm just sharing this story because it's linking back to why I'm saying what I'm saying right now. I hosted a live stream after that murderer went on the run after killing this young woman with an active warrant, a homicide warrant for his arrest. And I began pleading with the public to aid Missing, Lost, and Trafficked with finding out where this man is. I simply went to Ben Verified and I looked up every address attached to every single relative, neighbor, friend, associate that murderer who was on the run, he was running from the police, was connected with. I hosted a live stream. I began listing off. I didn't list their addresses because I didn't want those people to be harmed. I list the cities and the states those individuals lived in. Okay? And I explained their connection. Well, luckily, there was a relative, and this really happened, watching that live stream of said murderer. That relative felt convicted listening to me listing off all these places the murderer could be. They hadn't captured him yet. FBI was trying to capture the murderer. And then that person tipped off law enforcement, called me to let me know, or rather sent a message to me, all right, on Facebook letting me know, I've tipped off law enforcement. This is a relative of mine that I'm turning in for murdering this young woman. I know where he is. I know he's hiding out at his family member's house. Law enforcement went to one of the cities and states I listed in that live stream as being a possible place. It's being a possible place, right? The murderer could be hiding out at, and I'm not going to say I was right, but it was one of the places I listed. The murderer had family at. He was actually hiding out at a family member's house. And luckily, one of his relatives was watching my live stream and had enough courage to tip them off. And so he was arrested without incident for murdering 20-year-old Shatiria Waits of Houston, Texas. Okay, well, I just decided, this is a profile that's not really an active profile. It's one of my, profiles for Missing, Lost, and Trafficked. I am the admin for Missing, Lost, and Trafficked. If you want to learn more about Missing, Lost, and Trafficked, then just type in Missing, Lost, and Trafficked. You'll be directed to the group. And you can type in Missing, Lost, and Trafficked on Instagram, on YouTube, so you can see the history of my reporting. I just thought this evening, I don't host, this is the first live I've ever hosted from this profile at all. Due to the urgency of this matter and how important it is, I thought, I'll use this profile. I will go in a support group for Naomi, and I will just try to share whatever information that I could share that may help. And so that's what I'm doing right now. And hopefully there are people paying attention and listening and making note of some of the cities and states that I listed as being places Mr. Fallon has connections to based upon the relatives and associates listed on his background report, rather. Well, thank y'all so much for taking the time to watch this live stream. And if you have tips regarding the disappearance of Naomi Irion, you have not shared with police. This is important. You don't intend on sharing it with police because maybe you're too afraid. All right. This young woman needs to be brought home. So if you're that person, you got something credible, you've spoken with this man, you have a text message or a call or something, right? Something you've seen weird, right? Neighbor acting weird, neighbor doing something funny, carrying something in a house, outside a house, whatever it was that you noticed. And it's something you haven't shared with the police because you are just afraid, right? I'm asking you to send that information to me and I will forward it to the police on your behalf. I've done it before. I'll do it again. So I'm going to include tips right here. That's if you're that person. If you're that person that you're going to share information directly with the police, then you don't need to send me an email. But if you're sitting on information, right? Valuable information. I'm speaking to people like that because I talk to people like that all the time. You're afraid. You don't know what to do. You think they might, think you have something to do with this. And you just don't want to share that information directly. Let me be that middle person for you. I'm not afraid of the police. I have no problem sharing whatever information you're sharing that you have not shared with the police. I will share it directly with them. I will share that information directly with the police. Using my email address, that very lengthy email address, missinglostandtrafficking@gmail.com. I have no problem doing that. Okay, so that's that. it's that. We'll see what happens. Let's keep Naomi in our prayers and her family in our prayers. Someone says Silver Springs is not far from Walmart, not far from Fallon. Silver Springs is a weird place. Yeah. Have a good evening.